Well, since this was yesterday, I thought we would start here today. You know, I have never begrudged anyone watching a football game and enjoying themselves and relaxing and laughing and having a good time, but you know, with everything that's going on right now, this really goes to the concept that I put forth in videos. I can't count how many about the difference between resisting or being seen as resisting. And when you look at yesterday and you look at everything that happened, how people cannot now see the tie-in between religion and capitalism and nationalism. That's all getting wound up together. I don't know that I will have the ability to even show people. It's just very blatant and very apparent. Now, I served my country, and I love the guys that I served with, and I would do anything in the world for them, but I fear my government right now. I fear them because they are making inroads into places because of their ability to take advantage of people's decision making with their emotions and not their head. They're not thinking, they're just feeling. And that is, these types of events and these types of things are what foster that. You know, it's a football game and great, fantastic, congratulations to the Patriots, wonderful. But everything else surrounding it was all a form of Mammon worship. And I'll let people out there who don't know who Mammon is from the Bible look that up for themselves so they can understand what I'm talking about. When people get together, large groups, to support things, I think about this. History has the luxury of being able to demonize uh, Adolf Hitler and demonize the group of people that put him in power and call the German people the victims. But they weren't. You think all these people here were victims? These people weren't victims. They were victims of their own fear and victims of their own uh, emotion-driven support of somebody. But the Germans did what the Germans did based on fear and based on the ability of a man to rise to power through his ability to capitalize on that fear. What this guy said yesterday would have gotten anybody else impeached about the moral equivalence between the U.S. and Vladimir Putin and what they've done. I mean, this guy literally has Bill O'Reilly taking him to task, and he still was walking away with a pass from his supporters. If you don't think this is religious fervor or religious devotion, folks, you cannot deal with these people on an intelligent level. You cannot deal with these people from a place of thought. And while the thing Melissa McCarthy did on Saturday Night Live was freaking hilarious, I mean, I couldn't breathe watching it. It's counterproductive, though, to the resistance. It really is, because it gives this man's supporters a video now to sit around and rally around and see how, they're going to say, see how the media is against us, see how we're just the put upon minority. And, it's, NBC, you cannot really say is part of the solution, because they hired that guy. They hired him knowing what he said about women, knowing what his positions were, and they're not giving any of the money back from The Apprentice. So they knew who the guy was. And so, but they still go out now and they make money off this person, Melissa McCarthy, doing this thing, this impression of Sean Spicer. But this just goes to, are you actually resisting, or are you just being seen as resisting? So, all right, enough of that rant. We're going to go to Mr. Bannon. Now, everybody likes to talk about Mr. Bannon and how he's a Nazi and how he's this, that, and the other. But does anybody actually bother to go do the good historical homework on the guy to be able to have it as a weapon in your arsenal? And you can go here, this is Breitbart, and you can go here and you can read what this man says about himself. And you can read the 3 tenets of Bannonism. Oh, and look, capitalism, nationalism, and Judeo-Christian values. What do we just see here? This is what they're going to try to do here, folks. They're going to try to wrap all of this up together into one nationalist religious type of fervor. And I really do think that's what Pence's role is going to be. Very soon we're going to see him come to the forefront and to bring the evangelical Christians into a much more active role in the Trump agenda. Here is a BuzzFeed. Here is another article you can go to. Steve Bannon actually had a little Q&A at the Vatican in 2014, and he gave a great many insights into how he believes the future should be and what he thinks, and his opinions on capitalism and where America is and who he blames and why he blames them. And you can also use, once again, 25-point program, NSDAP, for reference. And I would point people to, which one is it? Point 11, abolition of unearned work and labor income, when he talks about the 2008 crisis. And where is it down here? Somewhere. Point 18, struggle without consideration against those whose activity is injurious to the general interest, common national criminals, usurers, blah, 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 punished with death. And so these are just two more points on top of the 10 or 12 I did in the last video that you can, check off the list of this guy's nationalist agenda. He's just going to tie in, and remember, they did here too. They tied in Christianity, nationalism, and while here they have a problem with capitalism in the sense of the type that doesn't require work. The Nazis, wanted people. In fact, they said it was a right of or it's not a right, but it's an obligation of a citizen to work and earn a profit. That was the obligation of a citizen. It wasn't just a right. You had to do it. And this is all, the groundwork for all of this has been laid by something that the left has not, they've attacked it in jokes and in comedy, but not in a serious way. And that's these guys, the prosperity preachers. These people have laid the emotional infrastructure inside the supporters of Donald Trump. Guys like this and John Hagee have gone after, the middle-aged conservative white male. This guy has gone after the more liberal type of Christian and laid the prosperity message into them. This guy has gone after the young black community and told them that it's okay to be filthy rich by any means as long as you go to church on Sunday. And this person has gone after her, and Joyce Meyer have gone after the women of America and gotten the message into them. This guy has gone after the older folks. They have gone into just about every major demographic group of people, and they have laid this foundation of the capitalist part of Judeo-Christian value. And now that you have the government doing the nationalist part of it, with things with the Super Bowl and all this and the love of the military, it's all getting tied in together, and this guy is going to be setting himself up as God. This is exactly what he's doing. That's why he picked Mike Pence. And this is, for all of the warnings of the last 8 years that the right said, that the alt-right, I should say, said that Obama was the beast and Obama was the Antichrist and all that. Obama didn't fit any of the criterion of the Antichrist, but Trump fits almost all of them. To a T, within a matter of weeks. The speech that I just showed you from Bannon was 2014 at the Vatican. Donald Trump wasn't even talking about being president then. But if you look back at what Bannon said in 2014 at the Vatican, it's frightening that the plan was already in place. So I know this video jumped around a lot, but there's a lot to cover. But if you folks really take the time, do your homework, and not get distracted by the media and the things that they are pointing you to, and just do the homework for yourself and stay focused, you'll start to see what's really happening and why this guy is going to be the biggest problem the world has ever known because of the emotional attachment to him. So there's the 10-minute mark, so that's where I try to cut everything off. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it, and we will see you next time. Thank you.